Hi, Dylan. Hi, Dylan. Has the meeting started, Dylan? Can you hear, Chelsea?
Hi, yes, we can hear you. We're just not quite ready to start yet.
Okay, I always get nervous.
Yes. Thank you for checking.
Joy, you want to give us a sound check?
Yes, hi, Doug.
Hi, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Fantastic. Well, let's go ahead and get things started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission, October 5th, 2022. Hey, hi out there. And of course, as you know, the Historic Preservation Commission is made up of volunteers who are here to interpret the guidelines that are put down by ordinance in the Manitou Springs code. And we are going to be hearing a pretty, hopefully what appears to be a pretty short meeting tonight. But I am going to go ahead and ask the commissioners to introduce themselves so everyone knows who they're dealing with.
Good evening. I'm Susan Presti, Vice Chair.
Ann Nichols.
Joy Porter.
And I am the chair, Douglas Edmondson. Commissioner Porter is going to be joining us via Zoom, and Commissioner Wright is excused. Very well. Well, let's go ahead and move into approval of minutes. I know that there's been a couple of changes.
Right, and thank you for those changes, Hannah. I had one additional change on under the motion that I made on the cabin, 181 Crystal Park Road, where you've got that an additional finding that it would be economically infeasible to rehabilitate or something. The log cabins, instead of log cabins, I would say the 3 structures proposed for demolition, because they're not log cabins.
That's a good catch.
Great. Thank you for that amendment. We will get those changed.
Great. Other than that, with that change, I would move for approval.
I actually have a question. There are 3 references in the minutes to a Commissioner Latimer. There is no Commissioner Latimer listed as attending the last meeting. I was not there, but it's not listed as somebody attending the meeting.
Thank you for that catch. We will get that adjusted. Thank you.
Very good. And I'm glad that that was brought to our attention, because it's very important to know that these structures that are being demolished, or they've asked for a demolition permit, are non-contributing structures that are not part of the original McLaughlin Lodge core. With that, I'll go for a motion.
I'd make that motion to approve the minutes.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Minutes are approved unanimously. Do we have any unfinished business that we need to attend to? No? Okay, thank you very much. We'll move into new business. Right now, we are, let me see how what the order is. We are looking at a postponement for MCAC 2212 material change of appearance certification window replacements at 1118 Manitou, 1118 Manitou Avenue. Kaylin Garner, applicant, and she's not here this evening. That's been postponed. And we will hopefully see that next month. Do we need a motion to postpone that? Okay, very good. Well, I will entertain a motion for postpone.
And I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Okay, item 3, MCAC 2213, material change of appearance certification, elevation change, raising garage at 357 Pilot Knob Avenue. Michelle Anthony is the applicant, speaking on behalf of Isla Quinn. And we will ask the applicant and their representative to come to the microphone if you could. And when you come to the microphone, could you please introduce, or actually we'll go ahead and do staff report first. You guys can come on up and get comfortable. Okay, I'll do that because I actually, yeah, okay. No, I actually don't, but so anyways, before we do staff report, I'll ask if any commissioners have a conflict of interest at this time. No. And I'll just make it, I'll just bring to the attention of everyone that I did work with Isla originally when she was remodeling the house, and we got her approval for her, but then that was about as far as we went. And I have no vested interest in this outside of my job.
Great. Thank you. For the record, this is Chelsea Stromberg, Senior Planner, presenting MCAC 2213 at 357 Pilot Knob Avenue. The applicant is Michelle Anthony on behalf of Isla Quinn, owner. The proposal is to raise the elevation of an existing non-conforming accessory structure. The applicant is also seeking permission to do the following changes. To install a window in the accessory structure where one once existed, to replace the dual outswing garage doors with a mechanical overhead garage door, to install a wheelchair lift on the rear of the structure, and to install a new paved driveway to provide vehicular access to the structure. And this is all in addition to raising the garage 2 feet in height. So the whole garage is just kind of being picked up. Sorry for a little overkill there. It was a hard concept for me to grasp. So we have some existing site photos where you can see that the street level exceeds the ground level of the garage by about 2 feet due to the topography of the site. And some what we believe is shifting of the street level, maybe adding additional pavement. Things like that over the years have just kind of contributed to this inequity. So according to the El Paso County Assessor's site, the residence was constructed in approximately 1915 and the garage was constructed in approximately 1950. Over time, as I said, the garage and the street had a grade change. And this application is to remedy that to make the garage usable for vehicle storage. I'm just going to move on to our proposed changes, where we have a 1/1 vinyl window in the side of the garage. This window does match the windows in the residence, which was approved in 2019 by MCAC 1903, as well as the height change you can see in the rendering, as well as the driveway. The garage door isn't shown to be changed because the applicant intends to find a garage door that matches the appearance as closely as possible. Findings and review criteria. We found that the following guidelines applied to this case. Guideline 4.1, an addition or alteration to the historic building shall ensure that the original architectural character and style of the structure is maintained, and the addition is subordinate in appearance to the original building. We find that the proposed alteration to the garage ensures that the character and style of the building is retained and does not change the context or relationship of this accessory building to the principal structure. Guideline 4.4, alterations and additions to historic buildings shall be equal in height or subordinate to the original structure. The current location of the existing garage is in front of the home, where the topography of the site is higher, which renders it more visible from the street and higher than the principal structure. The proposed height modification will not alter the historic relationship of the two buildings. Guideline 4.15, architectural details such as trim combined to establish distinct character and shall be preserved whenever feasible. Damaged and or missing detailing shall be replaced and shall match the original detailing. The reinstallation of a window on the west side of the garage brings a lost architectural detail back to the property, and replicating the garage doors as closely as possible ensures that the overall project is as appropriate and as unnoticeable as possible. Guideline 4.18 maintains original materials, textures, and finishes on the existing structure. The owner does intend to retain the exterior materials and repair or replace any that might be affected by raising the building onto the higher foundation. New materials such as the proposed window and garage door will maintain the appearance of those elements and will conform with the materials approved for the renovation of the home by MCAC 1903. Guideline 9.1, when a secondary structure is historically significant, it should be preserved. This includes maintaining the structure in its present condition, rehabilitating it, or adapting it to a new use so that the building continues to serve a function. The proposed project meets this guideline. By raising the garage so that it can be utilized by a vehicle, it restores it to a usable state and provides utility necessary for the owner and preserves the building. Staff recommends that should the Historic Preservation Commission find it appropriate to grant the material change of appearance certification, staff recommends the following conditions. Number one, the final garage door and window material shall be approved by staff prior to installation. And number two, the structure, including the more visible foundation, shall be painted to match the principal structure. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much. This is a nice, easy one, and we will go ahead and ask the applicants to introduce themselves with their name, full name and address, and then tell us what you got.
Okay.
Doug, may I ask a
I'm Michelle
question?
Anthony, I'm the consultant on, oop, was that?
Yeah,
somebody
Doug, I was trying just to ask a quick question of staff.
Sure, Joy, go ahead.
I, of course, went by the structure and it's a very nice little garage that you can't use. But now I couldn't figure that out. It's going to go up maybe 2 feet, maybe. What's the height of the garage now? Maybe the applicant will know that.
I believe the applicant has that answer.
Okay, thank you.
I'll try to work that in.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Michelle Anthony. I'm serving as the consultant on behalf of the property owner. My address is 312 North Chestnut Street in Colorado Springs.
I'm Isla Quinn and I live at 357 Pilot Knob Avenue, Manitou Springs.
So thank you for the opportunity to present this tonight. And I appreciate staff's work on this and assistance over the last few months as this is had been put together. I think between my application memo and the staff report, you hopefully have a good idea of what's being done. There were a lot of alternatives that Ms. Quinn looked at in regard to, how to make the garage usable. And there just really wasn't anything feasible because with the height of the roof structure of the garage, the interior roof height, and this lower and fairly close to the roadway, and it being the base of the garage or the floor of the garage being a couple of feet lower than the road, every time you tried to figure out, well, could I ramp it in? No, you're hitting the top of the garage with the top of the car. Can I do this? No, you're hitting the top of the garage with the top of the car. So this really is the best option for her, and does retain, with a really minimal change, does retain the appearance and the context and the relationship between this building and not only the cottage on the property, but the streetscape. So we do appreciate the staff recommendation and we will provide the final garage door and window materials. It may even be coming in with the actual construction plans, may come in before that, but certainly that's no problem. And I have told Ms. Quinn that I will assist her with that. The photo simulation that was done, it's accurate. It depicts a 2-foot change in the building, but there's no scale to that. What I basically did was I took a photograph and then we actually marked a 2-foot line on the building, and I did my old-fashioned cut and paste. I cut the building out and I taped it over the other one at that 2-foot mark. So it's accurate, but I couldn't tell you what scale it's at. Likewise with the window, I got a picture of a window that was very similar to the ones that Ms. Quinn had used on the cottage. And then I lined it up with where I could see on the side of the building that disturbed siding. So it's an accurate depiction, but what size that window is actually going to be, I think it's probably going to be maybe 20 by 24 or something like that. But it will be in scale and proportion with as it shows on the photo simulation. And as far as the height of the structure, I actually don't have that. I think it's probably somewhere around 12 feet or so. If that's something that the staff may want that anyway. I know that the surveyor had said that he could give us, the current height And then obviously we'd put that up to 2 feet. It may be actually a little under 2 feet. But the contractor said it's so close, ask for 2 feet because he didn't want to have a 2-inch difference, throw Isla into an issue. So that's why we're asking for the 24 inches. And if there's any questions or clarifications, I'm sure glad to try and answer. And I do have a letter that one of the neighbors gave to Ms. Quinn, and I'll leave that with staff tonight, and that's in support.
Very good. Thank you, Michelle. Isla, you have anything you'd like to add to this? No?
Just need a place to park the car so I can get in the house. No.
Okay, well, do any of the commissioners have questions for the applicants? Joy?
No, I was just curious, and when I thought it was going to be about 12 feet, so I feel good that I guessed right.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely say that I'm familiar with the project, familiar with the building, and I believe you're also wanting to put a wheelchair lift in the back, but that's the back of the existing structure, and you have a difficult time. There's a small staircase there that leads you to a door. I mean, you really can't see it from the road, and I mean, that's understandable. I mean, I don't think we could stand in the way of something when it comes to an ADA compliance or ADA accessibility. That would definitely be able to. So was that Ms. Presti? Any? No? Okay. Well, is there anyone in the audience? Thank you very much. And since we're done with our questions, is there anyone in the audience that is in opposition to this? And of course, we have a letter in favor. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll go ahead and chat amongst ourselves. Do you have any concerns?
No.
Ann?
No concerns. I think it will turn out fine. I think it's a reasonable approach and will be compatible with cottage in the back and should look fine.
I agree.
And I
Joy.
agree, true, preserving the structure and making it usable it makes so much sense. And meets all our criteria.
Very good. Yes, I know that there's a garage. I think your neighbor just to the west of you that it was on an old concrete pour, and then they had put some concrete blocks in there to raise it at one point in time. So I'm very familiar with it, and it's a good solution to a bad problem. I think I had a hard time getting your garage doors open at first, didn't I? It was tough. Yeah. Well, very good. I don't have any questions for the applicants. I think I would go ahead and entertain a motion.
Sure, I would move for approval of MCAC 2213 with staff recommendation.
And second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Nice
Good to see
seeing
you too. It's like on the other side of the podium this time there. Well, very good. We'll go ahead and move on to item 4, MCAC 2215, material change of appearance certification, replacement material change to deck railing above garage, 50 Grand Avenue, Jane Turnus and Warren Epstein applicants. I'll go ahead and ask you folks to come up to the podium, of course. And then I will ask if there's anyone in the audience that has any sort of conflict of interest with this particular MC, or in our commissioners have conflict of interest? No. No?
No.
Well, I think we all know Jane and Warren, and we'll go ahead and listen to staff's report on their application.
All right. Good evening, commissioners. Tonight's presentation pertains to a material change of appearance certification request to replace the above garage wooden deck railings and posts with a powder coated and or wrapped steel materials, which attempt to closely match the original materials in terms of design and appearance at 50 Grand Avenue within the Agate Hill Historic Subdistrict. The Agate Hill Subdistrict reflects the historic name of this neighborhood that begins on Canyon Avenue just past the Cliff House Hotel, which incorporates the upper area of Canyon, Grand, Spencer, Cave, Dudley Avenues, Manitou Terrace, and Narrows Road. The The following features characterize the sub-district: larger scale residences, a high level of building craftsmanship detailing, a mixture of eclectic and resort styles, stone combined with wood shingles, cut stone retaining walls. Right. The El Paso County Assessor lists the existing residence at 50 Grand Avenue as 1.5-story construction with side gables and street facing dormers and a detached garage at street level on Grand Avenue. That's depicted in the image there on the right. And you can see the deck railing as well as the deck railing's location on the site plan in green there. The garage has a rooftop deck with wooden posts and railings, which is accessed via door on the south elevation of the existing residence or by a small set of stairs off of the main walkway leading up to the front entryway. The applicant proposes replacement of the existing wooden rails and posts on the rooftop deck above the garage, which have since been removed due to safety concerns pending the outcome of this hearing, with a powder coated and wrapped steel material which closely matches the design of the original wooden materials. The applicants have stated the reason for the change in material is to reduce the amount of maintenance needed to keep up the appearance of the existing wooden materials and for overall safety. The front of the property where the above garage patio deck area is located is south facing and requires constant maintenance and upkeep throughout the year due to the sun exposure and other Colorado weather events and hail damage. So due to these weather and climate conditions, a wooden replacement would deteriorate and has deteriorated in the past much more quickly, especially in the footings. The applicant has also indicated the proposed materials, the metal materials would not be compromised as easily and would provide a safer environment for the property owners and their guests. 50 Grand Avenue is listed as a contributing resource on the resource inventory form, not for its design or architecture, but due to the fact that the residence is associated with the lives of persons and events that have made a significant contribution the broad pattern of local history. The residence was originally constructed to serve as the parsonage for St. Andrew's Episcopal Church and was home to Dr. Basil Creighton, a prominent physician in Manitou, and Edward E. Nichols, Jr., a former mayor of the city. The proposed materials for the posts and railings for the above garage deck are similar in size, shape, and proportion to the original wooden materials used. The proposed replacement is almost a like-for-like replacement, and especially so in terms of the location. The only exception being the relocation of this handrail on the stairs here. It's being relocated from one side to the other. And the applicants also intend to install a new gate across the access for those stairs and at the rear gate for the walkway that accesses the back of the property. So the original wooden posts and railings had a smooth texture and were painted to match the colors of the primary structure. The original wooden materials contained 36-inch tall 4x4 posts with 1.5-inch square rails. The design of the steel posts and railings proposed to replace the original wooden materials has been intentionally designed by the applicants to closely resemble the original posts and railings in terms of their appearance, scale, and character. The proposed 36-inch tall 4x4 steel posts with caps will be wrapped in a white color to match the existing residence. The proposed metal panels will be powder-coated black, which is consistent with other metal railings within the district. As stated by the applicants, the reason for requesting the material change is due to safety concerns related to the rapid deterioration of the wooden materials over time due to the exposure of the harsh Colorado elements. The design guidelines state a preference for utilizing original materials for the exterior alterations. However, under guideline 4.19, it also states that material sizes, profiles, and shapes may be milled from new material to match the existing historical materials, and that new materials can be introduced if they result in a cohesive appearance that integrates the new alteration with the original structure. And staff finds that the proposed change of material regarding the posts and railings is acceptable under those guidelines and will result in a cohesive appearance that is largely indistinguishable from the appearance of the original wooden materials. Staff further appreciates the diligence and efforts put forth by the applicants to attempt to maintain the original appearance. And they've done some previous improvements in the past that have only further strengthened the contributing nature of this structure. Staff recommends approval of MCAC 2215 at 50 Grand Avenue with the following conditions. 1, the materials shall be 4x4 steel posts and decorative caps with 1x1 steel rail panels and 2-inch round steel grab rail. 2, the post railings and gates shall be colored to match the existing residence. And the following finding. The request promotes and encourages the private rehabilitation and ownership of historic structures.
Thank you very much, Dylan. And the applicants, would you folks like to introduce yourselves, give us your full name and address, and if you had anything to add to staff's report? There's the little green light on.
There we go. Jane Turnus, 50 Grand Avenue.
Warren Epstein, 50 Grand Avenue.
I think the one thing that I would note there, I believe the vertical pickets on the steel that we're proposing is more like 3/4 of an inch rather than 1 inch.
Okay. Well, did the commissioners have any questions for the applicants? No?
Oh, I do. Thank you for the information. I had a question. The staff recommendations include coloring the rails to match the existing residence. Is that something that's possible? Is black the only option with this railing material? What would be the status of that?
We're proposing going with black. If you look in the neighborhood, most of the railings, old or new in the neighborhood that are metal are black. And we think that would be less obtrusive. Painted rails, metal rails often look a little funky, I think, and a little cheap when they're colored. So we're going with the colors on the posts, which will be the most evident piece of this structure. And then we'll redo some of our trim so that all matches properly. It could be that we'd have to go with a different material if we were going to do a powder coat in a different color, and it would add thousands of dollars to the cost.
Okay. And so basically it's a black and white system. You've got black and white. Why do the uprights white when the railings are black?
We don't have to.
Because the color of the house is not white. I just was.
Yeah, and
wondering
there
what
isn't
the
any
white
black
matched.
on the house either. So
I know.
yeah, we're trying to have something that is lighter colored and that is more indicative of kind of what that railing sort of looked like in the past.
Okay.
That is your current color scheme, correct? It is pretty close.
Yeah, it's a light cream.
Okay. Okay. Well, I know powder coating lasts with the weather.
Doug, can I ask what,
Sure, go ahead, Joy.
on the house, it looks like there's white trim. Is it not white trim?
There's cream colored trim now, and what we
Okay.
do is add some white to it so that these posts work with it. They don't come in a color that is, cream colored right now.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And I thought you were, when I went by your house, your home, I was looking at that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, I thank you very much. I don't have any questions and I just I have to say, or is there anyone in opposition or support of this application? Obviously, there's not. Is there anyone online raising their hand, Dylan? No? I don't see any hands up. Okay, well, thank you very much. We'll close the public comment on this, and then commissioners, do you have any concerns you'd like to voice over this application?
I have no concerns. I think it will look fine.
Yeah, when I visited the neighborhood and looked at, there's some antique, really nice railing out of metal, probably not powdered steel, which is very expensive. But there were some other things that were just certainly not up to the quality of this application at all. So it was nice to see that they're doing something. I also agree that we have a deck that just gets the sun and has to be replaced constantly. And so I understand about the safety, and then you don't want people falling off that garage. It's a long way down. So I'm okay with it too.
Commissioner Presley?
I'm fine with that. And, but I do want to make the commission aware that we will need to not require staff's recommendations if we approve this, because the recommendations do not match with what they're proposing exactly.
Okay.
But they don't.
Okay. Go ahead.
Sure, I would move to approve MCAC 2215 at 50 Grand Avenue as it meets the criteria for granting a material change of appearance certification without additional requirements, including the staff recommendations or conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
You bet. Have a good evening, and
You too.
hopefully you guys will get that done soon.
2 weeks.
Okay, well, that is it for our new business. We're going to move on to other business. Item 5, review and discussion regarding the annual certified local government report for FY 2022. Is that Dylan? Go Dylan, go.
Yeah. So I provided a draft of the annual CLG report that we do every year. Basically just soliciting feedback from the commission or any corrections. One thing that's always a challenge every year is compiling all of the webinars that everyone has attended. So if you have attended more webinars than what has been listed in the report, just send me an email and let me know which ones.
Dylan, did you get my list?
I did.
Because those are ones I attended. It wasn't just a list.
Right.
Okay. I was confused though.
And I think I may have attended one more, but I'll go back through my records and look.
Okay.
I unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to attend any of those this last year, but I'm definitely going to make a point to attend more this following year. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town for the presentation at Brush. Yeah, I would actually would love to have gone to that, but no, I'm going to be on a train going to California.
That's fun though, Doug.
Yeah. Historic Union Stations.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, well, I guess I will entertain a motion to adopt the annual certified local government report as written. With the understanding that the commissioners that did attend some of these meetings, if they will review their portfolio and submit any other meetings that can be logged.
Sounds good.
Do you need a motion on that?
Yes. We need a motion.
I would so move that we accept the report with the understanding there'll be a few additions to training.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, it's unanimous. We accept that. Item 6, notice of council action. Item 6, MCAC 2211, material change of appearance, demolition of structures, 183 Crystal Park Road. And we know the applicants. Do we have, that will be heard October 18th? I don't believe I can imagine anyone standing in the way of that. Hannah, do you have anything to add to that?
No, so this is just a notification that we have scheduled the hearing and we'll bring back the decision once that's been made.
Okay, very good. Well, I do believe that satisfies all the items on our agenda for this evening. October 5th, 2022, regular meeting, the Historic Preservation Commission. I will call adjourned now. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night, Joy.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, Ann.